Greetings, fellow mathematicians. Let's talk about adding and subtracting. In the first year of school, this is informal, with children joining groups or taking away from a group. In year 1 and 2, children learn to add and subtract formally, recording formal number sentences. Initially, they will count by ones, and when they count by ones in the first place, they will use counters. So they will make their groups of counters, join them together, and they will then count all of the counters. For subtraction, they'll make one group of counters, they'll take away, and they will record their groups of counters. After this, they may put one number in their head, counting by ones, then put the other number in their head, counting by ones, and then count all of the numbers. For subtraction, this is really tricky, so children often don't go through this level for subtraction. Once children have got number sense, they can put a number in their head without counting up to it. So if I was adding 7 and 5, I could put 7 in my head and then count on the 5. This is when they start recording on number lines. So they will put the 7 on the number line, they'll do their 5 jumps, explaining that each jump is adding 1, and then they will have 7, I added 1, I have 8, I added 1, I have 9, and so on. The same with subtraction. If it's 12 take away 5, they'll put 12 on the right end of their number line so that they have room to get smaller as they go down the number line, and they'll record their 5 jumps backwards, and then they'll say they had 12, they subtracted 1, now they have 11, subtracted 1, now they have 10, and so on. While children are adding and subtracting counting by ones, they're learning about friends of 10, place value, and partitioning. So while they're learning that, they are then going to be ready to start adding and subtracting over tens numbers without counting by ones. What this means is if they're adding 7 and 5, they'll start from 7, for example. Now they want to jump to a place value which is 10. So they'll jump to 10 in one jump, using friends of 10 to understand that they added 3. They're then going to partition the 5 into 3 and 2. They're then going to use place value to add the 2. 10 and 2 is 12. For subtraction, 12 take away 5, we'll start with 12. We want to jump back to a place value which is 10. We're going to use place value to take away 2. 12 is 10 and 2. Take away the 2, we've got the 10. We've partitioned the 5 into 2 and 3. Take away the 3, we've now got 7. Children in year 1 will then investigate adding single digit numbers to get over 20, subtracting single digit numbers to get back over 20, adding single digit numbers to get over any decade, and subtracting to get back over any decade. So by the end of year 1, children are adding single digit numbers and subtracting single digit numbers over any decade using place value. In year 2, children now start to add tens numbers, and then they start to add 2-digit numbers. They need to go through adding tens numbers before they add 2-digit numbers because they've never added or subtracted tens numbers before. So now we're going to go on to year 3 to 6. That's all there is really to learn about adding and subtracting. Once children can add and subtract 2-digit numbers, there's nothing more to learn. They're just going to add and subtract larger numbers, then they're going to add and subtract fractions, then they're going to add and subtract decimals. All of these are exactly the same concept as adding and subtracting the 2-digit numbers that they were adding and subtracting in years 1 and 2. So this deep understanding of addition and subtraction in year 1 and 2 is vital to allow them to move on in years 3 to 6 when they're going to be focusing more on multiplication and division than on addition and subtraction.